in the heart of Gumla, the Jama Masjid. That evening, the procession suddenly and inexplicably turned boisterous and ferocious the moment it neared Jama Masjid. No one seemed to know why the processionists had suddenly changed their attitude. I couldn't understand either. How could a procession turn into a mob? I asked eyewitnesses to the incident. I made them recount the sequence of events over and over again. Until, in one retelling, I caught one local summarily mention, more like dismiss, a single thing that changed as the procession got close. The music played by the revelers. As the procession entered the lane housing the mosque, the music switched. The loud bass beats ensured not much was audible. But some words were, "Toss the mullah's skullcap to the ground." And just like that, like a switch had been flicked somewhere, the crowds were suddenly electrified. They started chanting Hindu slogans in ways that onlookers perceived were meant to be aggressive and deliberately provocative to Muslims. The Muslims outside the mosque, waiting to welcome the revelers, suddenly felt threatened. Tensions were running high. It could have gotten worse. Thankfully, police officials swung into action and switched off the music. A situation was averted. Till it wasn't. A few hours later, some Hindu men from the same procession were returning home when they saw a Muslim man with a young Hindu woman in Soso village, about 4 kilometers away from Gumla. The man was 20-year-old Gumla resident, Muhammad Shalik. The woman was a local. Many in the group knew Shalik. His father, MD Minhaj, told me. But, bobbing with raw aggression and adrenaline in the wake of the procession, the men decided to forget they knew Shalik. They tied him to an electric pole off the road and assaulted him with rods and sticks. By the time Minhaj reached there, Shalik was nearly dead. He died in Gumla's Sadar Hospital minutes later. I couldn't sleep that night. That was also the night this book was born. Back in my 250 rupees a night lodging that night, I spent hours trawling the internet. What were these songs that were driving men into such mad frenzies? Who were the pop stars of this world? As I looked for answers, my curiosity soon dissolved into a mix of worry and shock. I found this genre of music was thriving, with songs targeting everyone from Muslims to Pakistanis, from rival politicians to critics of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Bharatiya Janata Party, or BJP. Across the internet, these songs had been viewed millions of times, shared and liked by tens of thousands of people, and disseminated across social media platforms. The more I dug in, the stronger my suspicion grew. What happened in Gumla had not been an isolated incident. The nature of my trip changed after that night. For the next 2 weeks through Jharkhand, even as I tried to unspool the reasons that were driving hate crimes, I found myself investigating whether music had been a factor. In district after district, I found a similar story unraveling. Angry, hate-filled Hindu mobs were being goaded into violence by songs. Songs that echoed and amplified the hate inside them. Police officials confided in me off the record that they were now having to scrutinize the playlists in Ram Navami processions, afraid that provocative songs would stoke tensions. Music had been weaponized. Its fundamental purpose, to entertain and offer pleasure, had been altered. Music was no longer meant to merely entertain, but also indoctrinate. This music was everywhere. On Jharkhand's streets, its concerts, its public buses, as phone ringtones. It got uncomfortably close. My driver on the trip, a young man with sympathies for the